So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video today. And yeah, we're not going to have Master League because I had a busy weekend. It was New Year's, celebrations, recovery, it all happened. So I hope you guys did have a safe New Year's. But I wanted to talk about PES 2022 and a wish list, something that I like to put out every year. This isn't going to determine any factors or features that are going to be in PES 2022, but I want to give you guys my thoughts about it, and of course, let me know yours as well below. But keeping it realistic, folks, I'm not going to go crazy here and start saying they need to add this and that and this and that, because that's not going to happen. The one thing that I hope they don't do is reduce features, right? Get rid of stuff that we've had previously, because when PES 2014 came out, it was a little bit bare bones. Now, there's no excuse for them this year to do that. If it comes out PES 2022 and it's got less stadiums, less features, edit mode support, there's going to be a bit of a backlash. Konami will know this, so they can't afford to do so. So yeah, we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about what I want to talk about, and as I said, leave a comment below with features you want to see added, but keep it realistic, folks. Don't get too carried away with it. And hopefully I'll have something in the background for you guys to watch as well. So the first thing I want to talk about is edit mode, okay? Those that don't know about PES, edit mode is massive, all right? It pretty much keeps the game going, because without edit mode, you wouldn't get the licensed emblems, the licensed kits, the ability to do a lot of the stuff that you really can't do on Xbox. And that's probably the first main point here, is how is it going to run on the Xbox Series X? Are you going to be able to import or download, because I don't know how Konami are going to do it for next gen. Are you going to be able to import those kits, those emblems and everything that you can do on the PlayStation 5? Now, to be safe, people, I would say pick the PS5 over the Xbox. Not just for PES. I mean, it's a bit extreme to say, right, I'm just going to get a PS5 this year because of PES. No, don't be buying a console because of one game. That's mad. But if you are trying to decide, the PS5 will be the way to go when it comes to edit mode. But what else do they have to add? Okay, because right now we've got kits, we've got logos. Okay, I would say to Konami myself, look, we have to try and make the console version as close to the PC version as possible, but without making it too extreme and then obviously getting caught with copyright problems and all that. So having the ability to add your own scoreboards, for instance, which could be very simple, a PNG image that you can add, okay? Other factors of transitional effects could come into play. An ability to even add different designs on corner flags, different banners that you can add, and you can import those in. Chants, we've had those in the past. For some reason, Konami got rid of that ability to add chants because, let's be honest, the audio in PES is not great. I mean, it lacks. Even the licensed teams with the licensed stadiums, FIFA hands down does a far better job with the audio than PES ever has. So Konami have got to think about that. You know, let us put in our own chants, our own audio. It will make it far easier and superior to what we have now. So that will be my first thing. Edit mode is a must. A new stadium creator. See, that's one of those things with the stadium editors and creators. It's not something. Look, I will say this much. Should Konami focus on that more than like the gameplay? No, they shouldn't. I will be fine with Konami being like, okay, we're not going to have a stadium editor this year or a stadium creator this year, but we're going to add it as DLC or we're going to add it later on down the line. That's fine. That's fine. Show that you're going to be adding features to the game. Don't just negate them and forget them and then suddenly, you know, where we are. Because the problem with PES, people, is there isn't enough stadiums. There's not enough variety, and you're playing in the same stadiums over and over again. I can't really say that on PC because PC's different. You can mod it to your heart's content. You can add so many stadiums, you know, it's unbelievable. But on PS4, 5, Xbox, no, you can't do that. So yeah, edit mode's going to be the main thing, first of all, that needs to be more elevated to the next level. All right, folks, next level. We want to see high crisp quality. And another thing that Konami can't do is say that the PS5, etc., doesn't have the capability to add X amount of kits. Okay, no, that excuse is now gone, and we should be able to add as many high-quality kits as possible. I don't know the resolution they're going to have. I'm not saying that every kit has to be 4K, because it will add up, but we still can't be having that excuse that the PS5 and that is not capable of producing, because well, Sony themselves will say, yes, it is. It's a very, very solid console. So, number one will be edit mode. All right, let's see what they do. But ultimately, it has to be a real next-gen upgrade. All right, so now let's talk about modes, all right? Now, there are two modes that I think Konami will have to focus on, more so than anything else. And if they are going to focus on modes, then sort these two out. And you guys probably know what they are. We've got an online mode called myClub, and then we've got an offline mode called Master League. Those have to be the two big favorites to enhance further, because that's pretty much what everyone plays. No one plays Become a Legend anymore because it's become stale. No one really does the tournaments, the exhibitions. No. You go straight online or you play Master League. So, myClub, look, I'm not a huge myClub guy. I just don't really like playing online because, you know, these days people online are ridiculous. Not saying you guys are, but there are people out there that I've seen that just they'll win in any way they possibly can. It just becomes boring for me. But either way, there's not enough online features to keep you invested for a whole 12 months. There just isn't. FIFA has an extensive array of features and modes online. Ultimate Team, as much as you may like it or not, I don't like FIFA's gameplay, folks, so I don't play it, but it has a very, very deep Ultimate Team mode. You know, you can do whatever it is. The seasons, you've got your normal matches, you can do I can't remember what it's, squad battles, that's the one. I would love something like squad battles added to PES. Because for me, coming from offline, it's more enjoyable to do that because I'm playing the CPU, but I'm playing other people's teams. And then I'm getting rewards on top of it, I'm getting coins, GP, all that. It's all about rewards, folks. At the end of the day, no one wants to play an online mode where you don't get rewarded for it. You know, would you go and work without getting paid? No, you wouldn't, you know. So, they need to reward us. They need a more in-depth myClub. Simple, but we'll see what they do. Now, let's move on to Master League, because that's going to be a little bit more in-depth by myself, because I've played it religiously for decades. So, yeah, let's talk about it. First of all, I want to see a brand new menu, okay? If you're going to revamp Master League on a whole new engine with a whole new next-gen, let's start from the ground up, okay? It doesn't look bad now. I can't say that Master League looks bad, but the menus are still a little bit all over the place. They're a little bit unprofessional. Some of the wording is a little bit poor. And honestly, trying to find stuff is still a little bit of a chore. So making things simple, easy to access. I want to see the top scorers. Bang, you just press a button, you're into it. The Premier League table, bang, straight into it. Champions League, same thing. It has to just flow better than it does now, because we've had the same kind of menus, and I don't know, I'm just bored of them, folks. At least if you gave them a new lick of paint, it would seem like the game's been at least redone from the ground up. I don't know, but I just want to see a brand new menu system. Simple, easy to navigate, but has a lot of features, a lot of depth, and just works. Just use some of FIFA's, Konami. It's not even difficult in this day and age. Go and have a look at 2K. The NBA games look phenomenal. Like I said, FIFA, have a look at those. Go around and look at different menus on different games and come up with something nice and crisp, clean, and it just works. All right, folks? So that's main thing number one, is the main menu needs to be different. Elsewhere, let's talk about other things, like form arrows, okay? Form arrows have been all over the place in PES for the longest time. You can score a hat-trick with Ronaldo, and then the next game he's on red. Doesn't make any sense, folks. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I do like form arrows. I'm not saying that Konami should get rid of them. The reason I like form arrows, and I would say this works better than FIFA, because on FIFA, I feel like I can play the same 11 players every single game. Pretty much. Yeah, stamina may decrease a tiny bit, but there's no real difference. I know they added the new sharpness thing this year and fitness to FIFA, but I still feel like with form arrows, you look at them and you think, all right, we're going to rest him today because he's a little bit down. We're going to play someone else because he's buzzing. It actually gets you to use the younger players, because if you guys will know that sometimes they're flashing and they're going through a spell of increasing their stats, so you play them a little bit more. So I like having form arrows. I just feel like Konami have done it wrong in certain aspects, and the program isn't done correctly, where the players, if they scored a hat-trick, guess what? Then the next game they should be up for it as well. So form arrows is one thing they need to address, I feel. Team Spirit is one of those. I want you guys to let me know about Team Spirit. Do you think they should get rid of it, or do you think they should keep it? Because I'm still in two minds about it. you know, it does make the team play better after a while, and that's kind of the way Master League works. You start with a poorer team, you're a new manager, the chemistry isn't there. Look at new managers, they always struggle a little bit at the beginning. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, prime example. You know, even now it's up and down with certain matches, but it takes a little bit of time to get accustomed to a new team, and then you can start getting better, and that's where team spirit kind of starts, you know, evolving and helping the team out. So I'm once again kind of in two minds with that one. I like team spirit, but in previous years it's kind of annoyed me. So I think they won't get rid of it. I think they will keep it for the most part, but they can certainly maybe refine it. That's the word there. Refine it a little bit more. All right, now they added cutscenes a couple of years ago. Okay, you get a choice of words, you get a choice of a question, you press the button, it answers the question. It looks great, and on the trailer, we were all excited about it. We were like, ooh, they're adding something different. What's this going to be? What is it going to do? Turns out it did nothing, folks. It did nothing, and after you've played a season or two, that's it. You'll see the same redundant questions that have no purpose to actual Master League. And that's the problem. When you play FIFA, even if it doesn't do much, at least you have a little bar on the side that says team morale or player morale, and you can see a little face going, you know, a happy face. He's got better and he's happier. And the whole point of controlling a team in Master League is to keep the players happy. And right now, there is no sense of whether a player's happy, whether he wants to go out on loan, whether he wants to get transferred out. We can't see any of this because it's not in Master League. So these cutscenes have to have a purpose. Keep them, Konami. Of course, keep them. I would love to have a little bit of a backstory while playing Master League, but when there are questions, there's got to be a purpose. No purpose, no point. It's as simple as that. So overall, Master League just for me has to become more realistic. Doesn't have to be super realistic. I'm not saying copy FIFA, but I'm saying the transfers need to be redone. In fact, when you think about it, a lot of Master League just needs to be redone at this point because it's become stale and it's become very, very, very boring. But that's why we're going to find out what they do for PES 2022. But there you go. Overall, Master League itself, the actual core game mode, has to have more of a point, more options, maybe fix the form arrows, more cutscenes with a purpose, and easier menus. That's kind of my wish list. I want to go into Master League and go, wow, okay, you sit back, you look at it, and you admire that they've done something different for the first time in a decade, and they're going in the right direction. So that's out of the way. Now we're going to dive into the fun stuff, folks, the gameplay, okay? Because this is where we're going to see the biggest changes, well, hopefully. So, of course, let me know your thoughts below. So the first thing I'll talk about gameplay-wise is the referees, okay? The referees, for the longest time, have been poor, annoying, and frustrating. But that also kind of connects a little bit the old merger, if you know David Brent, the old... yeah, you get it. But the collisions and the refs kind of go hand in hand, because if the collisions aren't correct and they're not working properly and they're all over the place, then the programming's wrong, and then the referees get the decisions wrong because, you know, an arm has flailed into someone's body and it's given a foul when it shouldn't have been, and they kind of work together. So a whole new refined collision system with the referees together will address that. Okay, well, we'll see. We will see. Next up, we've got physics, okay? A new engine, you'd want new ball physics, because honestly, right now, I don't feel like PES's physics are bad for certain things. I still don't like when you smash a ball, or not smash a ball, but curl a ball with the old R1 or R2, whatever you use. It just looks a little bit ridiculous. You know, it doesn't look natural, and there are only a couple of ways to actually kind of strike the ball, because in PES, there isn't a lot of variations with shooting. I know you can do knuckle shot and you can do the rising shot, but those things are more about the player's stats itself. There's not actually buttons on the controller that you can press to enable them to do that. Like on FIFA, you can press L1 and square, or circle, whatever you have it as, and it'll do a low-driven shot. On PES, there isn't actually a way to do that. Now, I'm not saying have 97 different combinations. I don't want that. But yes, we should be able to do a low shot compared to sort of a higher shot, right? Or a regular shot. We should be able to bend it one way and then bend it another way. Different buttons like that. And shooting in PES has not changed in an extremely long time. Likewise, defending. Defending's kind of the same way. Now, I don't like FIFA's tactical defending. I think it's got too extreme. You know, this is a sports title at the end of the day, and I don't want to have to sit there and try and figure everything out. But I want to have full control of my players, and I want to be enabled to do things on a fly. So, yeah, being able to use square to shut down with another defender is great, but also having those reaction times is a bit of a problem right now, because changing players is still a little bit slow for me. A lot of the times it will change to the wrong player. A lot of the times it won't even change to a player. And it's those little annoyances that start adding up and cost you goals. Really, that's my biggest concern and biggest problem, is conceding a goal when you don't have control over it. I'm sure you guys understand that. It's very frustrating. And if I'm at fault, then fine, I'll accept it. I'll hold my hands up and say, well, I should have defended better. But when your defender goes all over the place, doesn't know what he's doing, then it becomes, a little bit more sort of infuriating. So, on a whole, just, refined physics, new physics. Because we know the graphics are going to be, I think, top quality. So you're going to see the hair flailing people. You're going to see all that stuff. The shirts moving all over the place with the wind. Dynamic weather, hopefully better with the lighting if they've got ray tracing happening. I think the games will look fantastic, but it's just taking that and then gelling it all together with the gameplay mechanics. Then we'll find out. So it's pretty much your basics, the refs, the collisions, the physics, the shooting, even the defending, those 5 sort of main culprits for the gameplay, because that is ultimately what defines a good game. All right, I don't feel like PES has those skatey players. I think the players' foot planting is better than FIFA's, but it still needs work. Oh yes, another thing let's talk about, because this is pretty big, is the goalies. This is going to be a long video, folks, but, once I get talking, I'm off. But the goalkeepers, all right? The goalkeepers, I really actually would like to see a separate option. That's what I'd like to see in the controls for the goalkeepers, right? So you've got a little bar that says difficulty, right? Amateur, professional, legend, superstar, and all that. And then there's one under it that says goalkeeping ability. And from there you can pick, I don't know, top class, world class, Superman, stuff like that. So if I want really difficult goalies, I'm going to crank it up. If I want easier goalies with legend difficulty, I can do that as well. Because having a legend goalie on legend, on manual as well, is a nightmare. It is a nightmare. So maybe adding that for goalkeepers alone, I would not be opposed to that. Don't know if you guys would. Don't know how hard it would be to implement. I mean, FIFA has a slider for goalies' ability, so it can't be too difficult, but that is something I'd like to see addressed. And also better mocap. I think this is another problem, is there's not enough mocap for PES. The animations can be really nice and then awful. Like the goalies jump way too high. Penalties, they jump way too far. But they never used to do that, so I don't think they did that back in like PES 6, PES 5, and even PES 11, 12, 13. I think it's just the Fox engine. They decided that these goalies are now going to become superhuman and can dive even past the post. When have you ever seen a goalie dive past the post when someone takes the penalty? No. And that's kind of the annoying thing, because it's like, well, PES is a realistic game in the gameplay sense, but why is the goalie, acting like that? Find a balance, Konami. Find a balance. So yeah, those are kind of my big gameplay related wishlist tweaks, and I think if Konami get that right, then it will be a fantastic game. I mean, I was scrolling through a list here on Reddit where they had sort of a wish list, and one of them was like, get rid of the scripting. And guys, I am not seeing as much. Be honest, you guys have seen my Master League this year. You have not seen anywhere near the same level of scripting with me turning off assists. Okay, do not complain, or don't complain about scripting, guys. Online is different. I'm talking about offline. If you're playing on pass support like 3, of course the game's gonna be fully assisted and it's gonna feel like the game is on rails. Turn them off. It's like riding a bike. Okay, you put the stabilizer on to learn how to ride a bike. Once you've got a grips with it, take the stabilizers off, and then suddenly, if you fail, you're gonna fall on your backside. Very much like PES, when you turn off the assists, you start seeing things that you didn't see before. So I can't really agree with the whole less scripting things, because playing on manual now, I've seen that the game actually plays far better with it off than playing it with assists. It's to each his own. It's very much like fouls, folks. If you're a dribbler and you know how to jink the AI and twist and turn past them, you are going to get a lot of fouls. If you play quick football and you never dribble, you're rarely going to get any fouls. So once again, it's one of those things where it may be different for one person, but it's completely different for another, depending on your gameplay style, depending on how you play as a player. So there we go, folks. That's kind of my big things that I want to see for PES 2022. And as I said in the beginning, I don't want to make this unrealistic. I'm not going to sit here and say do this. But there are certain things they just need to focus on. Edit mode needs to be really, really revamped, next level. Something that makes us go, wow, they've really have enhanced it. Master League, a brand new menu, brand new system, just like myClub, has to be exactly the same. Something fresh, something new. Rewards. Give people rewards, Konami. You give them rewards, they're going to want to consistently play the game every single day. That's why FIFA does such a good job. And then when it comes to the gameplay, there's plenty of things they can do, but fixing the refs, the collisions, new physics, new shooting, better defending, the switching of players, form arrows as we spoke about before, team spirit, and one more thing actually that we will maybe, but I doubt it, it's not a major thing, but it still does my head in, is man of the match ratings are terrible. Konami, let's just use a proper system from 1 to 100, okay, and give players a rating of 74 out of 100 or 93 out of 100, because they've been so bad for so long and I don't like it. Anyway, that is all for today, folks. Let me know your thoughts below. We will return with Master League this week. We'll plow through it, don't worry about it, but I do get busy, folks, and this isn't my full-time job, so I can't sit down every day and bash out tons and tons of videos because I have other things to do. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. That's why you got to hit that subscribe button, folks, for the latest goodies. Anyway, we'll return shortly. Till next time, I'm pretty hungry, so I'm going to go and have some food. I'll see you guys in the next one, and take care.